Thank you. So what you just saw there used to be myself and my very first employee, Alicia, back in December of 2010, in a closet inside of a shelter, unable to actually lay out a full garment on the floor to produce it. But now we're 7 women strong, producing a coat every hour and a half, and these are self-heated, water-resistant sleeping bag coats that we now have outreach not only in Detroit, but throughout the US, in Russia, Portugal, and Australia as well. And really, when it comes down to this, I was a student 20 years old when I started this project. And tomorrow is my birthday, I'm turning 23, and I just graduated from college, and really the same question I get asked over and over again is, why do you do this? Beyond the need, the fact that there are 20,000 homeless people in Detroit alone and 3.5 million in the US. But why do you do this? And it took me the longest time to figure this out, because I'm like, isn't the need enough? Isn't me doing this enough? But when Alicia, who had been working for me for 3 months, found a way out of the shelter on her own. She had been living in the shelter for 2 years, completely homeless on the street with her 3 kids. On her own, after working with me for 3 months, was able to find her own apartment, get all 3 of her kids enrolled in charter schools, and have her youngest son, Tabian, who's 6, start learning Japanese. And what made me realize in that moment was that I saw in these women, I didn't mean to hire moms. I didn't mean to. It wasn't objective when I started. But what I saw in Alicia, and I see in Annis, is my mom, my grandmother, my family. I grew up in poverty in Detroit, and I fought against it. I tried to hide it. I tried to cover it up every day, that going to school with everything I owned in one backpack. And I tried to cover that up. Because if I didn't, people would assume that because you are raised by an addict, or because you are raised in that situation, that you are destined to become only what your parents were. And that was the hardest thing for me, because everybody would look at me and not even know who I am, not even know my name, just assume, okay, you're gonna be exactly like those people. And you would fight against it. And I fought tooth and nail all growing up just to make sure that people didn't see that. And what really connected was that just 2 weeks ago, Annis, in a Monday morning meeting, made us all break down and cry, because she was saying that after 10 years of being in prison, when she got out, she was 52. She never expected to be homeless. She never expected to have to fight to have her kids back. And she was sitting there, she's like, I've never had a boss like you that didn't look at me like I was worthless. Because when I got out, I had nowhere to go. And I never thought that would happen to me. And people didn't look at me like I was human anymore. And I keep on fighting, but no one would even hear me. And I come here every day, and you don't look at me like everything I've done. You look at me like, oh, okay, if you prove it to me, you have worth. And it was hearing that from her made me recognize, okay, because this is what I've been doing my entire life, was proving that I do have hope for a future. I am not worthless. I am not what my parents are. And even what my parents are, they still have a chance to become something else. So I really realized in that moment that I am very privileged to be here. I'm privileged to be able to empower these women. We've been hearing that word a lot so far today, but it's true. They're doing it on their own. I give them the opportunity for the job, but it is them that shows up to work every day and proves everybody else wrong that said homeless individuals are lazy. They can't show up to work. They're lucky if they can make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. But these women every day show up to work and prove everybody else wrong. And I am privileged to be here and do this with them, and to help better their lives, not just for themselves, but for their kids. Each one of my women have at least 2 to 8 children across the board. And to see that, I'm lucky, because giving them that opportunity shows them that they do have hope. And because at the core of it all, hope is what gives them the ability to change. Hope that they're not doing this alone, because if they think they're going to do it alone, they will turn to other people that are detrimental to them to help them for money. Because they think, I'm a single mother, I cannot do it on my own. I need help. I can't do it by myself. And hope is what makes them change.